Have you ever wished you knew what someone was actually thinking? Well, today we're going to dive into a thought experiment that takes that idea and pushes it to its most terrifying, logical conclusion. We're talking about a world of perfect algorithmic honesty. Now, really stop and think about this for a second. What if every single word that came out of your mouth had like a digital receipt attached that showed your true intentions? Not just what you said, but what you really, truly meant. What would our world even look like?
So the promise, the sales pitch, is this perfect utopia, right? A world where nobody can lie. Deception is literally impossible. Every single interaction is crystal clear, transparent. You'd never have a misunderstanding, ever again. Sounds pretty good, huh?
Well, in this world, they call it the Nexus. And its core idea is, wow, it's radical. It's a society that's not built on something as messy and human as trust. No, it gets rid of trust entirely and replaces it with the cold, hard certainty of an algorithm, what they call a truth layer, that just sits over every conversation. We've all been here, haven't we? Someone asks, "How are you?" You say, "I'm fine." But what you mean is, "My world is crumbling." Or you tell someone, "It's great to see you," when you're really thinking, "I am so late right now." Well, the Nexus is designed to just erase that gap. And this is the key. You have to get this. The technology's main job isn't to connect us. Its job is to expose us. It shines this brutally bright light on that hidden space between our words and our real feelings. There's just nowhere left to hide. Which, of course, brings us to what it's actually like to live in this world. What happens to us, to our relationships, when every single conversation, every little compliment, every promise you make is put under a microscope and judged by a machine? So let's play this out. Imagine you're at work, a colleague shows you their new project. You want to be a good teammate, you want to be encouraging, so you say, "That's a wonderful idea." Seems harmless, right? A totally normal, polite thing to say. But then, bam, this pops up for everyone to see. A score, a verdict. The algorithm didn't just hear your words. It was analyzing your heart rate, your vocal pitch, your brain patterns, and it detected the fear you have that the project is going to fail, maybe even a little flicker of jealousy. And just like that, your polite fiction is absolutely shattered. And this honesty score? Well, it becomes the new social currency. It's this data-driven judgment on your sincerity that makes all those little white lies we tell each other to, grease the wheels of society, it makes them completely and totally useless. And this whole thing just creates this constant, relentless cycle. You speak, the Nexus listens, analyzes, scores you, and then it reveals what it has decided is the truth to everybody. And this is happening with every word, in every single conversation, all day, every day. It's exhausting just thinking about it. So you think, okay, a world with no lies must be a world where everyone is closer, right? Nope, not even close. The result is something way, way more chilling. This quest for absolute truth has some really devastating social consequences. There's this quote from the source material that it hits so hard. Society got exactly what it thought it wanted. No more lies. But the price they paid was silence. An unbearable silence. Because in a world like this, who would ever dare to speak? Think about it. If you know that your every word, your every intention is being graded, you're going to stop talking genuinely, right? Instead, every single interaction becomes a performance. It's a calculated act to try and get the highest honesty score possible. And because everybody is constantly performing, real conversation just dies. You're not even listening to the person in front of you anymore. You're just watching their score. You're suspicious of their motives. So the algorithm, this thing that was supposed to create total clarity, actually ends up breeding total distrust. In the end result of all of this, well, it's pretty inevitable. People are terrified of the algorithm's judgment, they're suspicious of each other, so they just retreat. Meaningful human connection becomes way too risky, it's too much work. It's just safer to be alone. What you get in the end is a complete and total collapse of the social fabric. The one piece of technology designed to create perfect understanding leads to its exact opposite, a world where we've completely lost the ability to connect with each other. And that's the great, tragic paradox of the Nexus, isn't it? Humanity becomes, quantifiably more honest. It's totally transparent. But at the exact same time, it's infinitely, crushingly more lonely than it has ever been before.
So what this whole thing really boils down to is a fundamental clash. It's a battle between the cold, hard value of absolute truth on one side and the messy human need for empathy, for kindness, and yeah, sometimes for the little fictions that hold us all together.
It's really two sides of the same coin. On one side, you have this transparent utopia, a world where no one can ever lie to you. But you flip that coin over, and you're looking at a social wasteland, completely stripped of all the nuance that actually makes us human.
And that's the ultimate price of admission. To get their perfect algorithmic truth, this society had to give something huge up. They literally sacrificed empathy at the altar of truth. They chose data over compassion.
So the Nexus forces us to ask some really, really tough questions. If you replace trust with cold certainty, is a relationship even meaningful anymore? If everyone's afraid to speak up and share a half-baked idea, how does a society ever grow or innovate? And maybe the biggest one of all, do we actually need those polite fictions to survive?
And really, that's the thought I want to leave you with today. We've just walked through a world that got rid of all the little fictions we tell each other and ourselves. And the final question is, are those fictions a bug in our programming that needs to be fixed with technology? Or are they actually a feature? Maybe the most necessary feature of all for living together.